What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jules from the Virtuosos doing a solo video because I want to tell y'all the truth about Shedeur Sanders, this whole saga, wrapping stuff up. The preseason's over. Not even 4 months ago to the day, you know what I'm saying? We were me and Demond were doing the NFL draft reactions, and, Shadeur's name really didn't come up that much during the reaction. We like the first half. I think maybe even up to like pick 18, 19, something like that. We didn't really talk about Shedeur too much because after like I want to say the Giants pick, we were like, all right, now we get into territory. We're like, there's nobody that needs quarterbacks. It might be a little before we see him. If we do see him, we probably be off air by then. Lo and behold, he didn't get drafted that day. He didn't get drafted the next day. He didn't get drafted until the fifth round, 144th overall. And I do want to say, as a disclaimer, I am a Shedeur fan. I do think he's going to do good things in the NFL. I do think at some point in his career he is going to be a starting quarterback. But there's nothing wrong with being a career backup that makes good money, that is reliable, healthy, and willing to do anything to make sure that the team is in a good spot to win when starters go down, or potentially even being a bridge quarterback. Those are not bad career arcs. But most importantly, though, like no matter what, he's a polarizing player. Like he's gonna have that status forever. Deion Sanders' son. Not many people can say that. Not many people can say that their father was one of the greatest players ever. So to start off, his scouting report leading to the NFL was stuff like average arm, not mobile. He's smart, can play with timing, takes a lot of sacks, negative plays, very accurate, hardworking. Worked through two colleges, brought them up. You know what I'm saying? Jackson State was nothing before Deion Sanders and Shedeur got there. They rose with the program. Colorado, really never seen many talents coming out of Colorado for just about any sport realistically. D1 school, but for sure needed some star power, and they got that with the Sanders family. But we know he can play. We know he's an NFL quarterback because he's in the NFL. He made the NFL roster. He's on the 53 man. Can't put him on the practice squad because somebody can steal him from you. So you're in a weird position where he's probably going to be healthy scratches as a four-string quarterback. And it's very interesting because you don't really see two rookies get picked on the same team. And like I can even go back as far as like, maybe like Kirk Cousins and like RG3, where it was like, why would you pick two quarterbacks? And then it ends up working out that Kirk Cousins is your guy, at least for a couple years, while RG3 phased out with injuries. Unfortunately, even though he was a very talented player, didn't really get to see much of him the way they wanted to. But it's better to be prepared than unprepared. But we want to talk about like the truth behind Shedeur Sanders, mainly because the discourse on online between people. I've seen some of the nastiest takes, some of the like on both sides, and I do want to say, like I said, full disclaimer, I'm a Browns fan. But at the end of the day, like I'm a football fan first. I love the game. I love the nuance of the game. I love the small things, analyzing, over analyzing. Sometimes even shut my brain off, just be like, hey, that dude got swag. He gonna be good in the NFL. So stuff like that is always good to like wide range of outcomes, understanding that anything can happen in the NFL because any given Sunday is a real thing. Um, Preseason has wrapped up. All three games over with. Shedeur played in two of them. He did have an oblique injury. That is something that did happen. You know what I'm saying? He posted really good numbers in college, but that doesn't really tell the full story if you're a good NFL quarterback. I know a guy, I'm not going to say his name, 𝙚𝙘𝙘𝙚𝙘𝙚, is a fan of the Patriots. His team took a player late day three, Bailey Zappi, maybe 5 years ago, broke passing records. You know what I'm saying? Never was a good NFL quarterback. Will probably never be a good NFL quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So numbers don't tell the whole story. And then we got guys like Josh Allen, you know what I'm saying? Picture behind me. He turned out to be an amazing quarterback. He's a reigning MVP, been deep in the playoffs, and he had, issues with, playing with time and, footwork, but all they seen was that he has a big arm, he's 6'5", he's big as hell, and, what I'm saying, he has the ability to adapt, and they thought that that was enough to make him, a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. A lot of teams regret passing on him. My Browns probably as well do. The Broncos were in play with him. A lot of teams were in play, and they decided not to draft Josh Allen. The Bills took a chance. They believed in him. They thought he was good, and he ended up being really, really good. He ended up being an MVP caliber player. He's a contender for the last 5 seasons of his career. You know what I'm saying? So numbers don't tell the full story. It's all about traits. It's all about the coaches that they put around you. But through the Panthers game, he threw a lot of off schedule throws. I like that. Those are things I did like, off schedule because he was not really good on off schedule. He was more of a timely based quarterback. But the fact that he was playing with time and playing off schedule was really 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 good. That's one thing I really liked. Another thing I did like was his short, 3 step drop backs. Those were phenomenal. Getting the ball out super quick, doing things that I didn't expect him to do, making the right play. That's the difference between the Panthers and the Rams game. He was trying to make the right play in the Panthers game, and the Rams game seemed like he was like, "All right, this is my last chance to potentially move up in the depth chart." And sometimes it's not always about that. Because you're the fourth string, don't mean they're gonna go through every single quarterback in front of you before you get a shot. That's not always what that means. You're just in that position. But people also were sharing like training camp stats, you know, um, practice stats. Like, oh, he went 6 for 8 today, and he threw 2 touchdowns. And it was like, who do y'all think he was practicing with? Like, do you think he's throwing the ball to Jerry Judy and Joku? Like, you cannot find me a clip of him throwing the ball to those guys. Those things that doesn't exist. And there's a reason for that because he is the fourth quarterback on the depth chart. So if you're the fourth quarterback on the depth chart, you're going to be throwing to fourth string players, practice squad players, players that are not going to make the NFL roster. You are blessed to be in a position because as a four stringer, they don't teams don't really carry 4 quarterbacks. Some teams don't even carry 3. So the fact that you are on a team that is carrying 4 total quarterbacks is a blessing in itself. Um, he had a really good ability to see the entire field. He threw all over the field, left side of the field, middle of the field, right side of the field, short, intermediate, and deep. That was something I really did like, and the fact that he handled the media well, I feel like with a lot of pressure being, Deion Sanders' son, also with the fact that he played good and saying he going through a lot of practice, you see like high good stats, and it's like accuracy is not a problem for him. It's just the things that they like. They want to run a certain offense, and it's all about scheme. And I was trying to explain that, and it was like certain guys go over certain guys. Like I can't really name a time where like there was a talent that was so much better than one guy that went way earlier than another guy that wasn't as talented, besides like a Shedeur Sanders thing. People think that he should have went in the first round, maybe late the second round, compared to guys who went before him. I'm saying we don't know the full story of everything that went down in the pre-draft interviews and the pre-draft stuff. We know that he did not participate in the combine and all that, but a lot of people from Colorado did get drafted, so it did show that like clearly like maybe he elevated their play, maybe they elevated his play. We did not know. But the fact that he handled the media so well shows that, like, okay, maybe his pre-draft interviews weren't as bad. Being a confident man in the sport is a good thing because being a confident player means that you do have the prowess to go through anything and be able to, make any throw. The fact that you are confident in yourself shows that you're confident in your ability to do things at a high level. So I did like those things about Shedeur, but there are things I did not like. And people have to understand that like Shadeur's not a perfect prospect. Never thought he was. Never thought he was going to be a perfect prospect. He falls under the category of quarterbacks that are starting to slowly get phased out and are harder to actually build around. And like you really do need a really really good team, a fast team around you. Really really good blocking. When you don't have the athletic ability to escape the pocket at a high rate, and even if you do need to make really really good throws with anticipation. That was, a big thing. It was like throwing with anticipation, the plays that are, dragged out, broken plays like that. Like I said, he did throw some off schedule throws, but plays that break down, those led to negative plays slash sacks for him in that Rams game. Sacked 5 times. He only threw the ball 6 times. So that's a total of 11 dropbacks. And he got sacked 5 times. That's not good. He got hit a couple times. And people need to realize that sometimes going, 10 for 20 and you threw the ball away, you protected the ball, didn't take a sack, is better than, a high completion percentage when you're taking multiple sacks because a sack on 2nd and 10, a sack on, first and 10 is so detrimental to the team that like those third and longs, those are low success rate plays. And you don't want to put your coach in a position where they got to drop an amazing play third and whatever, in the fourth quarter. That's one of the main reasons he got pulled is like, all right, um, you're at risk now of getting hurt. You're at risk of potentially putting yourself in this position where we don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to lose confidence. We want to make sure that you continue to build what we have seen in practice, what we've seen in the Panthers game as well. Those 5 step dropbacks were not good. I don't think he's athletic enough to be, 5 step dropping back and deliver a strike down the field because that's just not his game. The quick game is where he excels, where he's so smart at. He still has some pre-snap stuff to work on, mainly disguising, blitzes and coverages. which is up to the coach to do that, but it's also up to him because that's what makes Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, you know what I'm saying, Philip Rivers, Drew Brees, guys like that, pod quarterbacks. So it's like they can't move and they're not running 20 yards down the field, but you didn't see them just getting lit up, every single Sunday. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't games they didn't even get touched. You know what I'm saying? They throwing great passes, strikes down the field, and it's like they're understanding stuff pre-snap where they don't need to move their feet and climb the pocket every single play. Some things are simple, and they made the game even simpler for their team because them being the smartest player on the field allowed their team to be open. It's like almost like science. It's literally like watching a guy dissect the team and they don't have any answers. But on the flip side, people also have to realize the defense is paid. The defense is their job is to stop you. So all because you see, Dan, this offensive line is not doing good. It's more so that the Rams probably just got really really good blitz concepts, and it's a reason why their defense is probably gonna be really really good because they have so much depth and they have a really strong shot at having a chance to rush 5 6 players because their secondary is not good, so they're gonna have to overwhelm the quarterback. That's where they excel. That's what they did throughout the playoffs as well. And you see that in the Eagles game, it was like, damn, they really are getting to Jalen Hurts. Something's gonna get to a boiling point with these Rams where they're gonna make a big play, and you've seen them make big plays on the defensive side of the ball, and it shows that they are capable of blitzing quarterbacks out of rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Jalen Hurts, a Super Bowl MVP. We just watched him win Super Bowl MVP the last time we seen him on the field, and this is the concepts that he was dealing with. You know, 5 man rushes where they're disguising a linebacker at the line of scrimmage. What is he gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is just like you got to keep that in mind that like these defenses are paid to stop you. They're not gonna take it easy. They want to earn their jobs too. I seen one of their edge rushers going crazy. I'm just like, if you don't make the team, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying, he was sacking Shedeur every single time or pressure him every single time. It was at a point where I'm like, he looks like a starter. This guy looks like he's supposed to be on a starting NFL defense. Um, he wasn't throwing as much anticipation as I liked. He probably could have been a little bit better. A lot of people talk about Dylan Gabriel's pick six. That wasn't a bad throw. Out routes are tough to throw because I'm saying the timing with those and all that. But like if that's what the coach wants you to do, sometimes you just got to do it and test yourself. And like they want, sometimes situations are thrown out there. Preseason is not for winning and losing. It's for test. It's for you know trying certain things out, trial and error. It's okay to fail in preseason because we want to iron out those details before we get to regular season. I don't want to watch you make the same mistakes that you're making in preseason. I want you to learn from those mistakes you're making in preseason. So next time I see Shedeur, I don't want to see him running backwards for 20 yards because somebody got free. Like people are going to get free. Edge rushers are paid. We just watched, you know what I'm saying, guys like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson, $30 million or more players getting to the quarterback. That's their job. We're going to watch people of that nature. I'm talking about some of the best players ever are in the AFC North. You're going to be going against the reigning MVP. Are you ready to go back and forth with Lamar Jackson in that Ravens offense? I don't think you're at that point yet. Are you ready to go against Joe Burrow week one? I don't think you're ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see you go out there and embarrass yourself and lose confidence because it's a hard thing to get confidence back in the NFL and a hard thing for NFL coaching staff to remain confident in you because we've seen teams like the Colts lose confidence in Anthony Richardson. We've seen teams like the Giants lose confidence in Daniel Jones. Like not the Colts, sorry, the Giants. Yeah, losing confidence in guys like that is a real thing. But then on the flip side, you see teams like the Chiefs believing in Patrick Mahomes, knowing that he was going to take over Alex Smith, believing like the Bills believing in Josh Allen, knowing that he's going to be great one day. Like stuff like that is important. Even Lamar Jackson mentioned like he was taken with the last pick of the first round. Heisman runner, really good player. They're trying to force in a wide receiver. He remained confident. The Ravens remained confident he was a quarterback, and he turns out to be one of the best players in the NFL right now. So I don't want to see you making the same mistakes in preseason in the regular season, and it's okay because you're a human. You're gonna make mistakes, but iron out those details now because it's the trial and error period. Because once it gets to the regular season, every game is gonna matter in the AFC North. I'm talking about the Ravens. I'm talking about the Bengals. I'm talking about the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Those teams are in your division. Those are all teams that were better than you last year, are in better positions than you this year as well. So that just wraps up the things I liked and disliked. And I want to give a mainly just an overall grade of Shedeur Sanders in his preseason. I'll give him a C plus. Passing grade. He made the team. The range of outcomes for fifth rounders are not good, and I want to name a few because you know what I'm saying. Like some of them we do know, and some of them we may not know. And I want to start with Troy Smith, former Heisman Trophy winner. All right, former Heisman Trophy winner went in the fifth round, 174th pick to the Ravens. Didn't do much in his career. You know what I'm saying? So that is a real thing. You know, to just be a guy. John David Booty, just for namesake, had to put him out there. He donned a number four before Brett Favre. Brett Favre had to pay him money to get number four for him. So Josh Johnson, probably the best fifth rounder quarterback you're gonna find in the last 25 years. Started almost everywhere. Journeyman, like out the ass. I mean, like he's the definition of keeping the team afloat, making sure the second string is ready because that's kind of their job during the practice portion of the week. Guys remember TJ Yates. Unfortunately, if you do, you know what I'm saying, you hate him just as much as I do. Aaron Murray played for the Chiefs before Alex Smith was, or I think actually back to Alex Smith, really was not a good player. AJ McCarron got a guy that everybody wanted to succeed. Turned out he was not good. You know, we had Brett Hundley, wanted him to be great. Used him in Madden a whole bunch. Was terrible. Former Bill starter, the last Bill starter before Josh Allen, Nathan Peterman. You know what I'm saying? Former fifth rounder, Mike White, journeyman in the NFL. He's been all around the AFC East now. Jake Fromm, former starter for, you know what I'm saying, the Georgia Bulldogs. He has not done anything in the NFL. Just traded not earlier in the week, Sam Howell, fifth rounder. He's on his fourth team now. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot going on with these fifth rounders. DTR was drafted 2 years ago by the Browns. Fifth rounders don't really pan out. I am rooting for Shedeur. But last year, another guy like Spencer Rattler thought he was gonna go earlier. He goes in the fifth round. Something similar happened. Like he was supposed to go day two. He ends up going day three, late going to the Saints. Has not won a game in his career yet. Is in contention to be a starter, but doubt it. I don't think he should be. And just recently retired Jordan Travis, fifth round pick. Injured his leg, fell in the draft, never played a game. I'm pretty sure really didn't come in the game at all. So those are just some names of what the range of outcomes are very, very slim, but there's nothing wrong with being a fifth rounder and potentially working your way up. There's good players picked in the fifth round. There's people that are in contention for starting jobs in the fifth round as we speak. There's a potential seventh round starter running back. Shout out Bill. He should be starting for the Commanders this upcoming up season. But like overall, like I said, C plus, passing grade. There's room to improve. I'm excited for him. Just wanted to talk about the truth about it. Like it's okay if the fourth string quarterback is playing with practice squad players because that's the level that they have him at. He's a fourth stringer, so it's hard to put him with the starters because the starters are going to play with the starters, and if the starters are playing late in the preseason game, something's going wrong, and something can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Don't want anybody out there that does not need to be out there. These are 30-year-old, you know what I'm saying, 7, 8 year veterans, you know what I'm saying, prime of their career, trying to make sure, like trying to win as many games as they can. As far as we know, you know what I'm saying, all teams are the even playing field, even though we know some guys are better than the others. It's an even playing field at the end of the day. When week one starts, everybody is 0-0. Everybody is as healthy as they're going to be, most likely. You usually don't get more healthier than you are week one. You know what I'm saying? If you're entering week one unhealthy, you're probably going to be unhealthy the rest of the year. Anything can happen. It's any given Sunday. The Browns go out there and win 13 games somehow. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? How do we not see this? And be like, oh, well, look, this guy. And then like, anybody can come up. Or we can go on 17 and be like, well, obviously, and they should have gave Shedeur a chance. It's like, anything can happen. So, any given Sunday is a real thing. And that's the whole thing is like, I want Shedeur just to, at the most, just to be prepared. Be prepared to like, all because you're the fourth string now does not mean that one day you're not going to catapult and be like, you're starting next week. You got 4 or 5 days to prepare because we're going on the road to Baltimore. We need you to start this game because Joe Flacco's been playing bad. Kenny Pickett, we don't want him out there because there's nothing he can prove to us at this point in the season that we need to see. And Dylan Gabriel might not. We don't think that he's ready for this spot. We want to put you in this spot. And what is he going to say? No. I'm saying like that's a big opportunity. And going on the road against the Ravens, against Lamar Jackson, former MVP, that's a big spot to be in. That's the spot you got to be in to be like, I belong in this league, and if you believe that you belong in this league, you're gonna be in that spot. Just be ready, be prepared, because it's the next guy up mentality. Anybody can get hurt. Like I said, it's a 40-year-old in front of you, a journeyman backup quarterback now, and Kenny Pickett, but he is a Super Bowl winner, so that takes into consideration. NFL or rookie, it's almost really an even playing field. I feel like the gap is not as wide as people think it is because They're all mid as hell. Nobody's really gonna do anything special. There's no all pros in that quarterback room. There's no all pros in that running back room. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of opportunity on this offense. There's a lot of shuffling around. And I want to play with starters, but realistically, this Browns team is not a great team. So like the person that you think might be a starter, that probably was a disguised starter out there that is in line to potentially start a few games. So just be mindful of the fact that it's only 4 months to his career. We got plenty of time for the Shedeur fans out there, the people that's rooting for him. Relax. It's okay if he's not starting week one. It's okay if he's not playing with the first team. It's okay. He is going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I promise he's going to be fine. If he's not fine, then that means he was not good enough to succeed in the NFL, and that is the case for a lot of guys. He's not going to be the only one that doesn't succeed because there have been plenty before him that have failed, and there's going to be plenty after him that failed. But he could be an outlier and show that he is as good as he said he was, and that is a real thing because where you get drafted does not always matter. It's just if you're talented enough, you are going to emerge at every point. So, with that being said, thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys on the next one.